Hi everyone, this is Crow the Sandler fan once again, and today I'm going to do another movie review. Today's movie review is going to be on one of the greatest sequels of all time, and it's definitely one of those sequels that needs no introduction, and it's one of my mom's favorite movies, and one of my favorite childhood movies of mine, and it is a big, huge part of my childhood as I grew up watching it a lot when I was little, and I still happen to love that movie to this day, and that would be on the 1999 sequel, Toy Story 2. To be honest, I don't really need to explain the plot for Toy Story 2 because we've all seen that movie, and we pretty much know the Toy Story franchise very well, and we all know what Toy Story 2 is about and what happens in the movie. So I loved Toy Story 2 when I was little. I grew up with Toy Story 2 as well as the first movie, and as a 17-year-old, I still love it to this day, and I still adore it. And my mom still loves it too, as it's one of my mom's favorite movies. And just like how Woody was in the first film, once again, Woody's great in the second one. In fact, I love Woody in all the Toy Story movies from 1 to 4, even though I didn't like the fourth one that much, but back to the topic. And Buzz was great too, just like how he was in the first one. And of course, we meet some new characters in Toy Story 2. We meet Jessie, and Stinky Pete, aka the Prospector, and Bowsai, and of course Al. And also I didn't like Mr. Potato Head in the first Toy Story, but I'm glad he improved in Toy Story 2. I honestly liked Mr. Potato Head a lot better in Toy Story 2. I did not like him in the first one, as Mr. Potato Head was a meanie in the first one, but in Toy Story 2, Mr. Potato Head was a pretty good character. And there are a lot of funny parts that we can't get enough of Toy Story 2. I loved all those funny moments in Toy Story 2 when I was little, and I still love them to this day. One of the funny parts that I liked was when Woody was trying to get his arm back, he accidentally turned on the TV, which played a Woody's Roundup song, and it caused Al to wake up and said, "No, officer, I swear." That scene was really funny. I also like the scene where Alice getting ready to work at a store called Al's Toy Barn, and he just drives his car from his apartment to a store which is right next to his apartment, and he says, "I can't believe I have to work every day on a Saturday, all the way to work." That line is funny, and I still find that line very funny to this day. And I like the opening scene too, where, Buzz has an adventure in space, but he however fails to defeat Zurg. But luckily, it's just a video game, and I'm glad Rex did find an instruction book at Al's Toy Barn, but it's a shame he lost it in the scene where all those toy balls are falling everywhere on the floor, and Rex accidentally lost the instruction book. And I honestly feel bad for Rex when he lost the instruction book. I also liked the Barbie scene, showing all the Barbies, and especially the tour guide Barbie. I thought the tour guide Barbie was very likable, and and I still like her to this day. And out of all of the characters I liked, there are actually 3 characters I did not like. I never liked to begin with, and I still don't like to this day. I don't like that other Buzz, you know, that with the one that wears this belt buckle, and he pretends to be Buzz and straps the real Buzz into one of those Buzz Lightyear boxes. I never liked that buckle belt, utility belt Buzz, and I still dislike him to this day. But luckily, the real Buzz came back, and utility belt Buzz did not come with the toys to rescue Woody. Instead, he just stays at Al's apartment to play with Serg, as he considers Serg his dad. That was a pretty good father son bonding, and I'm glad utility belt Buzz did the right thing, saying that he's gonna stay here to play with his dad. That's what I would have done too. And I also did not like Al, not even when I was little, and I still dislike Al to this day. And of course, Al is the villain. And although I don't really know Wayne Knight that much, except for the fact that he's known for starring in the TV sitcom Seinfeld, which, to be honest with you, I've never watched an episode of Seinfeld, and I honestly don't plan to, because this is gonna shock you guys. And please don't freak out too much about this, you guys, but Seinfeld is overrated in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I honestly prefer watching Family Guy, Forget About It, The Office, the American one, not the British one, Arthur, and The Simpsons. I like those shows, so I prefer watching those shows than Seinfeld. But my parents do love watching Seinfeld, and I remember, and as a little kid, I do remember seeing my parents watching episodes of Seinfeld. And yeah, I don't like Al, and I still dislike him to this day. But thankfully, in the end of the movie, Al ended up getting his own store being closed, and Al was crying on camera. His store deserves to be closed. That's what Al gets for kidnapping Woody. And I also did not like Stinky Pete, not even when I was little. And what made me despise Stinky Pete even more was the scene where Buzz opened the airport crate and was about to rescue Woody, but then Stinky Pete suddenly punched Buzz. That really cringed me, and in fact, I even remembered crying at the part where Stinky Pete punched Buzz in the face. I was not proud of Stinky Pete for doing that at all, and I felt bad for Buzz being punched in the face. He didn't deserve it at all. In fact, I didn't deserve to cry over the scene of Stinky Pete punching Buzz. But thankfully, it was in the past now, and in fact, I was only little when I cried at that part. But thankfully, I don't cry anymore, as I'm more mature. But I am glad that Stinky, that Buzz and the other toys brought Stinky Pete to that backpack with that Barbie girl. And the Barbie girl tells Prospector that he'll like this girl named Annie, that he'll give Prospector a makeover, and Prospector starts crying because he's gonna get a makeover. He deserves it. That's what he gets for punching Buzz and using Woody and Jesse and Bullseye. And there also a lot of lines I really liked, and most of the lines are something we can't get enough of. I liked that Star Wars references in Toy Story 2 in the elevator fight scene where Utility Belt Buzz says to Zurg, "I'll never give in. You kill my father." But Zurg says, "No, Buzz, I am your father." And Buzz yells, "No!" You probably all remember that reference. In fact, I loved that reference when I was little, and I still love it to this day. Despite that I'm not big on Star Wars, yeah, I did like the reference. And I also like the line, and it was pretty much an important line that I felt it was the line where Al asked the cleaner guy how much long it's going to take, and the cleaner responded by saying, "You can't rush art." That's an important line there, because you really got to be patient on processes like this when it comes to cleaning. I will admit, I did used to get a little disappointed about a movie being delayed, but I can't control that. It's a part of life, and we just gotta live with it. In fact, it also takes lots of time to work on a movie, because after all, you can't rush art. In fact, rushed movies can turn out to be really bad. And I agree with what the cleaner said. In fact, I thought the cleaner was a good character too. So overall, there's nothing else I could say about Toy Story 2. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing. Yes. Thanks for reminding me, Crow. I like the Woody's Roundup song that was featured in this movie, which is by Riders in the Sky. But now that I'm 17 years old, now that I think about it, I'm not gonna lie, but Woody's Roundup should have been sung written and performed by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, because Riders in the Sky and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young are pretty similar, as they're both kind of folk rock-ish bands. But I digress. I think Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young should have been the writer and performer of Woody's Roundup. They would have done a much better job in Toy Story 2 than Riders in the Sky would do, but that's just my personal opinion. But it would have been great if Crosby, Stills, and Nash performed Woody's Roundup instead of Riders in the Sky. It's just in my personal opinion. But anyways, there's nothing else I could say about Toy Story 2. To anyone who's never seen Toy Story 2, where have you been? You need to watch the sequel, like, immediately. It's one of the greatest sequels of all time. In fact, we all never get tired of watching Toy Story 2. So for my final rating of Toy Story 2, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 stars. One of the greatest sequels of all time, and a big, huge part of my childhood. And my mom loves that movie too. So I hope you all enjoyed my review on Toy Story 2. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is me saying, peace out.